A sense of hope for many workers as the community joins in on a push to raise the minimum wage. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Ballone. Well, could we be closer to seeing a statewide increase in the minimum wage? The governor has proposed one, and today he and others rallied to make it a reality. Denise Douglas has the details from Baltimore.
The call to increase the minimum wage is clearly getting louder and louder. Today, the governor, community leaders, and others gathered at this church in Baltimore to add their voices to that chorus.
It's tough.
As a waiter, Kevin Wheeler struggles to put food on his own table with what he earns working at the Sam Adams Brew House.
Like, there have been times when I've said that I've had to go and scrounge up change around my house in order to make sure I get to work on time. There have been times when I haven't been able to eat throughout the week.
But he's hoping things will get better now that Governor Martin O'Malley has introduced legislation to increase the minimum wage.
No man or woman should work 16-hour days, play by the rules, work hard, and have to raise their children in poverty. Not in our state.
He and dozens of others joined O'Malley to support the measure that, if approved by the General Assembly, it would raise the hourly rate from $7.25 to $8.25 by July 1st. Next year, it would go up to $9 and then $10.10 by 2016. Workers who get tips like Wheeler will also get a bump up in their base pay from 50% of the minimum wage to 70%.
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like the people are actually taking the people who work really hard, who provide for their families, who have done everything that they're supposed to do as American citizens, that they're actually going to be taken into account.
Not only can workers expect to see a difference in their pocketbooks, in the end, O'Malley says the increase would also be good for the overall economy.
Better paid workers need more customers for businesses. A thriving middle class is not the consequence of a growing economy. It is the cause of a growing economy.
In terms of the numbers, 455,000 Marylanders would benefit from the increase, which would also pump $456 million into the state's economy in the next 2 years. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
And the effort to increase the minimum wage took center stage in Howard County. U.S. Senator Ben Cardin met with some small business owners, or small business leaders rather, this afternoon to talk about the economy and President Obama's effort to raise the federal minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. Cardin toured British American Auto Care, which is a small family-owned business in Columbia that employs 18 workers.
Support that because that's a way to really get the economy going. When you look at the data going back over a few decades, and you see every time they put the minimum wage up, you see this bump in the economy, local economies. And the reason for that is the money goes straight back in, and it's in the local economy. It starts to go round and round. So I think it really will boost the economy for the local market.
Many states have passed higher minimum wages than we do. $7.25 is just incredibly low. You cannot make ends meet as a family on that minimum wage. It's time to adjust it to get it back up to its original purpose.
And Prince George's and Montgomery counties have already passed new minimum wage legislation. Well, a member of the notorious MS13 gang is found guilty of trying to kill a man considered by members to be a snitch. Prosecutors say the victim reported being assaulted and robbed by a gang member in September 2011. Not long after, the victim told police he heard rumors that MS13 was looking for him and that a strange white SUV was seen driving around the neighborhood. State's Attorney John Erzin says police were doing surveillance outside of the victim's home the day he was shot. The defendant, Marvin Reyes Mendoza, drove the getaway vehicle used in the drive-by shooting. Here is one of the 911 calls recorded the day of the incident.
You see the person that shot this person?
It was a white Ford runner truck. Well, they taking him to the hospital there. He got shot in the side.
Okay, we sending someone out there. You said it's a white what, sir?
White, like a trailblazer or something. They came like a drive-by, and the police was right behind them.
participation in a criminal gang. This would be the second time now in Prince George's County we've been able to get this conviction on this charge, and also the third time, I believe, in the state of Maryland since the law came on the books in 2007. And with the witness intimidation piece, one thing we want people to understand is that it's never all right to intimidate a witness, and certainly it's not something we're going to stand for.
And that was John Erzin with the state's attorney's office. Now, today, Reyes Mendoza was convicted of attempted murder, first-degree assault, participation in a criminal gang, and other related charges. Well, it's been little more than a week since that tragic shooting at Columbia Mall that resulted in 3 deaths. 19-year-old Darian Aguilar walked into the mall with a loaded shotgun on Saturday, January 25th, and gunned down 21-year-old Brianna Benlolo and 25-year-old Tyler Johnson. Mall officials and elected officials held a press conference in the days following the tragic incident to show Columbia Mall is a safe place. Some shoppers told CTV News that they didn't let one isolated incident keep them away. Others say they're not sure.
Happening in a mall that, you know, on any given day is a very scary thing.
And a few dozen people held a vigil at the mall this past Saturday. Well, a D.C. teen is indicted in connection with a double fatal crash in Prince George's County. Police say 18-year-old Ronald Hayes led officers on a high-speed chase in December, going 83 miles per hour with his headlights off. Police were pursuing him following calls of a shooting in District Heights. Hayes allegedly crashed into a minivan after running a red light, then fled the scene by foot before being taken into custody. 21-year-old Brittany Queen and 23-year-old Brittany Everett were struck and killed during the incident. 4 others were injured. Sources say Queen was pregnant during the crash. Hayes faces a total of 30 counts, which include 4 counts of vehicular manslaughter. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Villot.